I have spent 3,200 hours on this game, so it's safe to say that The Binding of Isaac is a game that I will hold dear to my heart till the end of time, since I have loved it since pretty much the beginning of time. Perhaps one of the first games I truly never wanted to put down and just kept playing it. Some may say I was somewhat addicted to playing at one point. So honestly, it could be considered an actual crime that I have not made a love letter for this game just yet. But better late than ever, as they say. So here is a love letter to The Binding of Isaac. Rebirth, repentance, afterbirth, all that good jazz. Let's get into it. First off, if you don't know what The Binding of Isaac is, how could you? That's one. How could you? But anyway, no judgment, almost no judgment anyway. Before I go further, I will say that although the original Binding of Isaac is amazing and groundbreaking, I will be focusing on Rebirth, also known as Afterbirth, and Repentance in later years. But anyways, the game is made by the wonderful Edmund Macmillan, so there's that. The Binding of Isaac Rebirth is a randomly generated action RPG shooter with heavy roguelike elements. Players will accompany Isaac, or any other biblical character, on a quest to escape his mother, facing off against droves of mysterious creatures and so on and so forth, discovering secrets and fighting fearsome and quite frankly gross at times bosses. Along the way, Isaac can find bizarre treasures that change his form and give him superhuman abilities and beyond, it seems. Now that is merely scratching the surface. So let's begin to do a bit of a deep dive. Take my hand. Take my hand. Well, take my hand. You'll need it. So, let me start by talking a bit about the story / endings and cutscenes. Now, the story to me is really what sets the scene for Isaac. Now, although it might seem secondary, it still helps give a certain vibe and ominous feeling that stuff is really going down. I will not be going too in-depth with the story, since it can be different which ends you get and what cutscenes you get, so all the while I assume that they are all canon, it's sometimes not clear what is fiction and what is reality, which is also a part of what makes The Binding of Isaac so great, in my opinion. Honestly, there are so many conspiracies as to what is the actual story is and what it means and all that. One that I really liked from when I was younger is that Isaac is simply just imagining all these scenarios and things, and while like dressing up as the different characters, like putting on wigs and eye patches and all that jazz. But who's to say, you know? There are so many different cutscenes and it will depend on what you finished of bosses and stuff like that. But it will paint a picture of quite the dysfunctional household, no matter which end or which cutscene you watch. It's clear that stuff is not exactly great, so yeah, but they're good, and you get it. You get how hard Isaac has it, and boy, is the world out to get that little guy. Which brings me to atmosphere as well. The atmosphere is really something else. It is every part gross, as it is amazing and honestly mesmerizing. I would not recommend to play it though if you have a sensitive stomach, but honestly at this point I don't even think about the fact that I am surrounded by poop and blood at any given time, so you probably won't either after playing for a while. But the way all of the aforementioned things just capture the darkness and this weird reality that we find ourselves in just is perfect. It's perfect. I don't even know how else to put it. You just get deeper and deeper into the void, literally and figuratively. So yeah, you're just getting sucked down there, like down there. Where even is down there? I don't know, but we're down there. You can tell we're down there. To the point where the basement where you first begin almost seems like a nice place to be, just in comparison to the even further darkness. But you know that's not a nice place to be either, so yeah. Atmosphere is great. It feels very daunting at all times. And in every love letter, it seems, I have to mention the soundtrack. And I do not have much to say about the soundtrack, but and however, you know I had to include it, because once again, the ominous feeling is present. She is here, whether you'd like it or not. It almost shakes me to my core when I hear the beautiful angelic sound of opening a chest, no matter how shit the item inside may be. It doesn't matter, you still get the oh, like, yeah, and you know what's up. So it almost feels like you're part of a little horror movie sometimes, which is quite terrifying, but also right up my alley, so can I really complain? No, but you better beware. That's basically the theme, beware. Beware of what's happening right now. You're being followed, it's not good, it's not great. And you can feel that, you can feel the creepy crawlies within your skin almost. Sorry for painting that picture. I shall continue. It can just be, for lack of a better word, and no bugs mentioned this time, okay, overwhelming. So much that you just know what's at stake the entire time. Like, holy crap. Sometimes literally in this game. You know, holy crap. Anyways. On to my favorite thing to talk about in almost all love letters is the characters, and it is no different within this little lovely game. So, let's start off with Isaac and his mother. No, not his mother. We're not talking about her, just yet anyway. Isaac is our main guy. Simple, to the point. A great starting point, to be honest. He has the item D6, which lets you reroll items every once in a while, when it's like built up, you know? And it's like a spacebar item. You get it, you get it. This is quite the powerful tool, if used correctly. I really enjoy it, and I am always happy when I see it while playing with other characters as well. I really do enjoy the D6, and I think it makes for really fun and different gameplay mechanic. Because let's be honest, it's just not every time when you step into an item room or something that it's the best item you've ever seen. And honestly, that's fair and dandy. You have to have some crap in there every once in a while, but damn. Sometimes it's just nice to be able to say, I don't want to deal with this item right now. Let me re-roll. So yes, Isaac is great, solid, and very enjoyable to play as. Next up is Magdalene. She does not carry the D6, I must admit. However, she does have more health than Isaac, and she always carries Yum Heart. I like using her health to my advantage in the beginning, when it comes to cursed rooms and things of that nature. I would also recommend to play with her as a beginner, if health is one of your struggles anyway. I know it damn well was for me, so not judging in the slightest. Sometimes it's just like that and you need a bit more health and a bit more support from someone who gets you, and Magdalene is your girl for that, okay? She will always have your back in that regard. Now is Cain. I'm about to talk about Cain. He is my absolute favorite, actually. Spoiler alert, I guess. And let me tell you why. I love his luck. Yes, it's that simple. I feel like he's the perfect middle ground in a way. He has more health than Judas and more damage than Isaac. I know I haven't mentioned Judas yet, but I will get to that, so don't worry. Don't worry, I will be getting to it. And he also has a bit more speed. And he comes with a key as well. So I feel like he's just such a good character to play as he also, furthermore, has the lucky foot on him and the paperclip trinket, which allows you to open golden chests without needing a key. It's just so convenient, and sometimes can make or break a game. I don't even care, it really can. So therefore, my eye-patched little Cain is one of my favorites. He, if not my favorite, actually, I must admit, I have a good eye for Cainy boy. Oh, pun not intended. Judas, sorry, I really could not resist. I will see myself out. No, just kidding. Judas has the Book of Belial, which gives you a nice little damage boost. However, he does not have any health almost. Actually, he does. One, that is. One little singular red heart trinket. Trinket? Bar. I don't even know what to call it. Despite all that, he's still also one of my favorites. Because damage. When I play, I'm aggressive. If a monster gets close to me, I get even closer. No, not entirely true, but almost, honestly. Almost honest. So for Judas, it's damage. And I just love his little hat, you know? I love him. Gotta love him. Yeah. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Also commonly known as Blue Baby. And I will be referring to him as such because I just do not feel like saying question mark 3 times all the time. Well, he has 3 soul hearts and comes with the item, the poop. The poop. Not the best starting item, no, but an item nonetheless. I remember playing with Blue Baby when I first started playing the game, and it was hard, man. It felt brutal to only have soul hearts as an option. But now, ha! It does not faze me anymore. The less health, the better. okay, no, but still. I have also liked Blue Baby, despite it being a hard fella to deal with in the early days. And despite him having the poop, which is definitely one of the worst items, but I'm just saying. Next is Eve, our own little emo girl, or at least something of that nature. Now, Eve starts with 2 red hearts, Whore of Babylon, and the Dead Bird. And after donating 439 coins to the greed machine, she will also spawn with the razor blade. So yeah, do your donating. I like using Eve, but I almost exclusively use her with low hearts, so that I can take the advantage of the Whore of Babylon extra damage. But I digress. Rather than that, she is also a fun play, but not one that I pick every time. That's almost all I have to say about her. I have finished everything with her, but still I feel like there are others in the roster that I prefer to pick over her. So, sorry Eve, sorry. Samson is next on the agenda. Also a favorite of mine, honestly. He has 3 red hearts and comes with Bloody Lust, which simply means that when damage is dealt to him, he becomes stronger. Now, this can only happen 6 times before he's like maxed out on the damage up. And now I've already expressed that I don't really care much about health, so therefore, I also don't care in this case. I just let him get a hit and get angrier and therefore stronger. So that I can do my nefarious stuff with him. Yeah, perfect. Oh, and also, nice hair, dude. Next up is Azazel. I absolutely adored Azazel when he first came out, because, okay, let's address it. Let's address the pluses of him. He can fly. Wow, that's whoa. That would honestly be enough for me. But now he also has the mini brimstone? What? From the beginning? And to that I say, yes. I could not believe my eyes. When I first saw him, I thought this was way too OP. And even though he starts with 3 black hearts, it's not like with Blue Baby. Oh no, he can still get red heart containers. The whole 9. So wow. Just wow. Color me impressed. Color me very impressed. But with that being said, I love picking Azazel when I just want a good game that can almost not go wrong. Oh, and he also starts with the full card. So there's that. How you like them apples, huh? So Lazarus. He starts with 3 red heart containers and a double blue pill with an unidentified effect. Quite spooky. He has slightly lower range and luck than Isaac, and for that reason I am out. No, I'm just kidding. However, Lazarus is by no means my favorite. Sorry, Lazarus stans. Lazarus Risen, though, I like him a bit better, because he has more damage, less health though. But like I've explained, that don't impress me much. I don't care. It's fine. You don't have to have health. Actually, I do, because otherwise I would die. Anyway, moving on is Eden. Each time a game is started as Eden, 1 token is consumed and a new Eden is randomly generated based on the seed, with one of the multiple hairstyles, random base stats, a random trinket, and a randomly chosen active item and passive item. Eden's stats are centered around Isaac's, meaning that they are on average identical to Isaac's, but may vary significantly from run to run. You'll know this if you've ever played as Eden. No Eden run is the same, that's for sure. And man, oh man, I love Eden for this quality. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's downright horrible. But you are sure to at least get quite different games out of this old character. And isn't that just hella neat, honestly. Now the Lost. The Lost starts with no health and cannot gain health by any means. Therefore, it will die from any damage taken. The Lost starts with Flight. The Lost also starts with D4, if unlocked, and also Holy Mantle, if unlocked too. I like the Lost when I want a little bit of a challenge, because it's not always easy to have no life. It's always good to get your hands on the dead cat, if possible. I know you don't quite control that, but you know, as it will grant you a few more chances. Oh, but a cool thing about the Lost though is that the devil deals are free. Like, they cost nothing. So that's great, because if you have no life, you have nothing to pay with it for. So free. It's free. So there's a life lesson for ya. Okay, maybe not. Anyways, Lilith. Lilith starts with 1 red heart container and 2 black hearts. Lilith's start items are the Box of Friends, Incubus, and Champion Conception.
That is not correct.
Campion conception. Lilith is permanently blindfolded, meaning she has no ability to fire tears. She instead deals damage with the Incubus familiar that follows her, and honestly, that is also super cool in my opinion. Yes, it can be a bit tricky to get the hang of it in the beginning, but it can also lead to some fun playthroughs, and with the box of friends, it only adds to the fun. When I play Lilith, I really like to try and get all the familiars that I can gather in my little party, just because it's so fun to have a huge train of them helping you to defeat bad guys. So yeah, Lilith is a great character too. Keeper. Our own favorite shopkeeper spawn. Keeper. Unlike other characters, Keeper uses coins as health. Very weird, but very fun. He starts with 2 coin hearts, loses 1 every time he's damaged, and heals for 1 every time he obtains a coin. At the cost of a cent, of course. You don't get the coin when he uses it as health, so yeah, but I think it's fair enough. It's fair enough. All types of hearts are then transformed into blue flies. If Keeper loses coin heart containers, an HP up will increase his health back up. So that's still good, but get the coins. I do really enjoy this mechanic, at times anyway, because it can be a little bit dicey too, and sometimes hard to manage. But luckily, coins are not too hard to come by, and I love that he starts with shooting 3 tiers. That's just what dreams are made of, man. I don't make the rules. I love when they are like a multiple shooter thing. Yes, just, it's great, it's great. I want a 3rd eye just to be able to do that, okay? Can a girl never dream? Apollyon. Apollyon starts with 2 red heart containers and Void. Apollyon's strength comes from turning bad item into base stats. This can heavily reduce the need for good luck through the run, as runs can be completed while collecting only a few items. Knowing most items' effects is very important though for Apollyon, as you want to know whether or not to absorb something or if it's worth it or not. And I like Apollyon, I think Apollyon is fun, but maybe I have done it so many times that it's not as exciting anymore, but it almost feels like a D6 sort of thing, where instead of just like getting rid of the bad item, you absorb it, which I do enjoy, and it is a fun mechanic, so I can't completely hate on Apollyon, but not my favorite. Not my favorite, not gonna lie. The Forgotten. The Forgotten cannot fire regular tears. Instead, he has a bone club that can be swung as a melee weapon, or charged to be thrown. Not gonna lie, I really like this feature. It switches up things and it's amazingly fun. However, the Forgotten cannot require regular heart containers. Any regular heart containers acquired will be turned into bone hearts, and any soul hearts or black hearts will be given to the soul. Now, the soul is a part of Forgotten that I enjoy in particular as well. I love using it to my advantage that the soul can fly and that I can just switch between the two. And then I also use the Forgotten as sort of a shield for the soul sometimes, and I really do enjoy that like back and forth that you can switch between them. So if one of them has a little bit of a hard time, you can actually go back and forth. Yes, the soul is chained to the Forgotten, so you can't just like fly around with the soul like completely free, but I still think it's really awesome, and if you really struggle with the soul, you can always go back to the Forgotten. So yeah, I enjoy that. The way to get the Forgotten though did kind of make me sweat back in the day. Y'all figure that one out by yourselves, okay? I wonder if it's different now. It's probably the same way. I don't know though. Now is Bethany. Bethany starts with 3 red heart containers, 4 soul charges, and Book of Virtues. Bethany is unable to utilize soul hearts and black hearts as health. When picked up, they instead are converted to a resource unique to Bethany called soul charges, at the rate of 1 charge per half heart. Soul charges can be consumed to use Bethany's activated item when the item isn't fully charged, at the rate of 1 soul heart charge per empty bar of charge. Kinda cool, huh? I love how the item consumed, if you will, become a little trinket orbiting around you, ready to help you fight. It's quite cute. For this, I also like playing as Bethany, but I gotta be in the mood to play as her, so to speak. But other than that, I think it is a fun mechanic. Next up is Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau are controlled as one, move at the same speed, and use the same coins, bombs, and keys. Otherwise, they are completely independent in terms of stats, items, and health. Both characters have collision and can be separated, though the drop button can be held to keep Esau in place, while Jacob is free to move around the room. If either Jacob or Esau die, they both die regardless of the other character's character's remaining health, which is quite brutal. Now this was truly interesting when they became a part of the game. What an interesting mechanic, yeah. However, I must say that they are not my favorite to play as I just love beefing up my characters, and it can be just a tad bit difficult with them, as they will of course not both get the item that you pick up, so you kind of have to prioritize who you want to be the breadwinner, so to speak. At least in my experience with playing with them. Let me know what you do to make them like a good little pairing here. And then there are all the tainted versions of these peeps. My god, they really are something, huh? I have used too many hours just swearing at the different tainted versions. The tainted blast was not even the hardest one in my opinion. Sure as hell was not easy, but my god, I don't want to go through them individually because honestly, you should experience the pain yourself. No, but it's not only pain, as it is immensely satisfying when you actually make it and get through the various bosses and stuff. Furthermore, the new mechanics that they offer is a fresh breath of air, and like I said, a real challenge. So I think it's good for players who are looking for even more of a challenge. Now up on the agenda are the bosses and enemies. Now, there are almost an endless amount of bosses in this little universe, so I'm not going to be going through all of them. But let me tell a little bit about the big three, so to speak. Except there's more than three. I just wanted to say that. So the first big boss that you encounter is Mom. I suppose Mom's foot in a way. It's a fun and good fight where a bunch of stuff tries to get you from 4 different angles. And hey, don't forget to look up. And then there's Mom's heart. Also a good fight. All those blood drops used to get me so bad in the beginning. But honestly, everything used to get me in the beginning, so yeah. Honestly, I was lucky if I saw Mom's heart back then, so perhaps I shouldn't be complaining. But then there's also just straight up Mother, and wow, I have struggled with this one. Yes, I have, because her movements are crazy and she is super strong. What with all that being said, I still take her on in stride, and most often, of course, I do defeat her. So, not so much skin off my back, I suppose. Isaac is weirdly also one of the bosses, and I think he has become easier for me with time, but holy moly was he a difficult boss. And the same goes for the Blue Baby boss, as it's pretty much the same, except for the fact that Blue Baby also has like honing in shots, like focused shots on you, like the purple ones. Man, that has killed me once or twice over the years, not even gonna lie. And it still can get me, of course, but I'm a pro now, right? Then there's Satan, also quite the fun fight actually. Once you get to know how it works, it's a simple boss fight actually. Use the bomb trick and all that good stuff. Good stuff. In the same vein, going down, there is the lamb. And the lamb is also fun, as it allows you to do a victory run if you defeat it. I do quite enjoy that. I think it's a nice touch, especially if you're like super strong at that point and you just get to melt through everything. That's why I love the Binding of Isaac, not gonna lie. I love melting through stuff. What can I say? What can I say? And no, I am not done talking about devils and such, because there's also Mega Satan, and he might honestly be one of my favorite bosses, because it is a fight where a lot happens, and it can honestly be quite hard at times. When he was first added to the game, I struggled, because wow, you just had to be super strong to defeat him. But then it was also immensely satisfying to do so, and also when I didn't know his patterns and stuff, it got even harder. But now I know all of his patterns, he can't fool me any longer. Still a favorite boss though. And in the spirit of the devil, I'd say that the beast is also within this category. Speaking of bosses I absolutely adore, if I could, I would pick the beast every time. I just love how the format changes in a way that makes it seem like the game is moving, that the game usually does not. And I mean, the beast's design is just so foul, and I mean that in the most loving way possible. Oh, and how could I forget what comes before him? Dogma. Dogma is also a challenge, and really does get you ready for the fight to come with the beast. Not the Mr. one, just the, you know. Also absolutely adore this design. So epic with the pixeliness of him. Yes, that's a word now. You can't do anything about it. Okay, but we also do have some miscellaneous bosses, like Hush. And Hush can be super hard, honestly, if you're not super strong right after defeating Mom's heart. But then it's good that there are some item rooms and just items in general down in Hush before you enter the battle. But you better just really cross your fingers and hope that it's something good that's in there. Otherwise, you might be a little screwed to fight Hush, but Still a good fight, and I almost can't skip it. If I have the opportunity to fight Hush, you know I will, okay? You know I will. Unless I've been slow, then I of course can't get to, but love the Hush. And who can talk about Hush without delirium? I like the delirium concept. It just feels like one big deja vu. You are going through several rooms that are reminiscent of your past, if you will, and so is delirium in its own right, as it takes forms of bosses that you have most likely encountered before. Quite spooky, huh? And last but definitely not least is Ultra Greed / Ultra Greedier. Oh my god! When I just want to have a good time and have fun with the game to the biggest degree, I will play on greed mode or ultra greed mode. And so it is of course no surprise that I enjoy the ultra greed boss. He is frustrating and hard and super awesome. And wow, he has quite the bottom, doesn't he? He sure does. And that's why you have to love him. Not loving him is really not an option, I am sorry. But if you don't love him, tell me why. I can take it. Maybe. Ooh. And what is Isaac without its items? Nothing! Nothing! So if I look at my first experience with Isaac, back before Repentance even existed, and Rebirth and all that, I would for sure say that some of my favorites were Polyphemus, the Small Rock, Technology 1, 2, and Mutant Spider. And honestly, it has not changed much, other than the fact that there are so many more items that have emerged. So now I just am obsessed with Sacred Heart, although I'm pretty sure it existed back then too, but it was just so rare that I like never got it, so I never remembered that it was good anyway. And one of my favorite synergies will forever be the Ludo technique with Brimstone, like hell motherfucking yeah! And of course there are other items that are mentionable. Like we have such an endless roster that it's not even scratching the surface at all mentioning more. But I love Tech X and oh no, and Jacob's Ladder. Like there are so many that I just love to see and use. I also really liked Epicac back in the day actually. Although that one is a bit more dicey for me now because I think they nerfed it. It used to be more powerful. Now it's just a bit of a hindrance sometimes. Unless you get Pyromaniac, then it's kind of good. Whatever, I digress. Turning into Guppy will also really never get old either. And so it's just, there's so much more that just keeps the game interesting. And you can almost, like I said, not have a playthrough that looks like the other because the randomized items just make this game. In the beginning of me playing, I had so much fun just figuring out what the different items did. And as many favorites as I got, I also got lots and lots of ones that I did not enjoy particularly, but whatever, it can be the other way around, we just have to deal with that. But you know, I could rant and talk about this game forever, as I love it and it's so awesome. But with all that being said, I have loved this game and still do love it oh so much for its pure weirdness and honestly its darkness as well. Thank you Edmund and company for giving me many hours of fun out of this game, and that was the love letter. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what your favorite item in Isaac is. I really do want to know, actually, if there's something I'm just really not remembering. I really love 2020 Vision. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. Thank you so much for watching. I will be, if not playing The Binding of Isaac, I will be playing The Binding of Isaac, the board game, if you will. Yes, that's good as well. Harmless little plug, just wanted to show off that I have this, because I'm not kidding. I'm not joking around. I love this game. I do. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye, y'all!